Hello, family. Grand rising, joyous rising, wealthy rising, rich rising, grand rising, happy rising, family. It's so good to see everybody. Happy Moon Day. Today is Monday. It is March the 31st. 2025, and the time is 12:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check in, family, and let us know where you're hailing from. Thank you so much for being in the room today. As you check in, let us know where you're hailing from. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video because we do have some great news. Welcome. So today is Monday or Moon Day. And they say Mondays are a high manifestation day, but that's not what we came to talk about. We came to talk about how gold just hit a new all-time high. And I've been saying for a long time that once gold hits $3,000 per ounce, it will continue to soar. It will explode and there will be no turning back. We saw that happen actually a couple weeks ago when gold reached $3,000 per ounce. But gold is steadily on the climb. Why is gold on the rise? Gold is on the rise because it's a basic economic principle that as the dollar decreases in value, gold and silver, the two precious metals that are lawful money, they increase in value. Now we know that the dollar that was printed by the central banking system of the Federal Reserve has lost its value significantly, not only because of all the countries that have decided not to trade with the dollar, but you had a whole lot of money printing that was going on during former administrations. You had a lot of money printing that had occurred during the global shutdown and the pandemic. And all of that led to nations all over the world saying, we don't trust the dollar anymore. We already know that it has sigils and magic and all these things on the dollar. We know it's attached to the central banking system and the Federal Reserve and the fake faux government called the United States Incorporated. So nations said, we're done with the dollar. And the dollar, as a matter of fact, had lost a significant amount of its purchasing power, almost 90% of its purchasing power before the global shutdown. So when all the money printing and the debt ceiling reaching an all-time high as well, the dollar lost its value. That led to the BRICS union, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, tapping on the shoulders of other nations saying, hey, we can all team up against the United States Incorporated. Not against America, okay, two separate things, but against the corporation, the bloodline families that had usurped authority from the Republic and established themselves as a nonprofit religious organization in 1871 in the state of Delaware. So all these countries said, let's get together and coalesce or make an agreement to take a stand against the United States Incorporated and the Federal Reserve central banking system. When they did that, they decided to stop trading with the dollar, and then they started to use their own local currencies backed by silver, gold, and other precious metals, as well as rare earth minerals. Now, remember, the trigger to all that, though, was actually Vladimir Putin going to Ukraine, cleaning out all the deep underground military bases. You remember that in 2022? And he uncovered all the things that were going on with in regards to money laundering, trafficking of drugs and children and humans. And when Vladimir Putin did that in 2022, Biden put sanctions on Vladimir Putin. And that was the trigger for Vladimir Putin saying, if you put sanctions on me, I got one better for you, Biden, CEO, corporate head, commander-in-chief of the United States Incorporated. I will stop trading with the dollar. And that, my darling, is why the Russian ruble became the strongest performing currency in 2022. Now, it was all a part of a plan, a secret plot that we've been talking about for many years called Project Sandman. Interestingly enough, after being ridiculed for that, now people are saying the same thing that we've been saying over here on this channel. Project Sandman was a secret agreement between 209 nations that, when triggered, they would stop trading with the dollar and use their own country's currencies backed by precious metals. That trigger again was Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin, once he was sanctioned by Biden, stopped trading with the United States dollar, started using his own Russian ruble, and then he initiated and inspired Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which already was a coalition of nations, to do the same and stop trading with the dollar. Then, interestingly enough, after that, they tapped on the shoulders of Saudi Arabia to join the BRICS bloc and then rename BRICS, unbeknownst to most people, to become Sao BRICS. Why did Vladimir Putin, after inspiring those 5 nations, remember he's from Russia, Brazil, Russia, India, China, after inspiring those 5 nations to stop trading with the dollar, why did he then talk to the head of Saudi Arabia? He inspired and encouraged Saudi Arabia to join the BRICS bloc or the BRICS Union and getting rid of the dollar and refusing to trade with the dollar, because what made the dollar, the United States dollar, the USD, the world reserve currency, was our agreement, or the United States of America's agreement with Saudi Arabia to protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for their oil, and force all other nations to get oil from Saudi Arabia using the United States dollar. And anytime any nation decided that they didn't want to get oil from Saudi Arabia or through OPEC, or they didn't want to use the dollar, maybe they wanted to use their own currency, or maybe they wanted to trade using gold, then America, or the United States, I should say, not America, but the United States, would then put sanctions on those countries, or they would declare war on those countries. And then what would happen? Those countries' currencies, thank you for the Cash App blessing, would decrease in value. Those countries' currencies would depreciate because they had sanctions put upon them, or those countries had to go to war with America. Now, after that, America would fund both sides of the war. Those countries' GDP would go down. Their countries would be decimated. The currency would depreciate in value. But the smart people, the people in the know, the elite, the top of the chain in the military, presidents and prelates all over the world would buy those countries' currencies that had been devalued or depreciated through war and or sanctions, hold on to them for dear life or hodl, wait until America went back after the war into those nations, rebuild the infrastructure, which then led to the GDP being increased, which then meant now those countries would reinstate the country's currencies back to its pre-war value or its pre-sanction value. And then people who had hodled or held on to those currencies that had been depreciated through war and or sanctions would wait till the currency would be reinstated to its normal value or its pre-war value. And then they would go to the bank and get a new exchange rate and exchange those currencies for a higher exchange rate. And this is how many people became extremely wealthy, family. So again, what made the USD, the United States dollar, the world reserve currency, and what gave America, the United States, financial and economic hegemony, made them the powerhouse that they were, was our agreement with Saudi Arabia to protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for their oil. And then we'd force all nations all over the world to get oil through OPEC and other agreements from Saudi Arabia using the United States dollar. Well, once Vladimir Putin stopped trading with the dollar in 2022, after Biden had put sanctions on him, he's inspired Saudi Arabia to join the BRICS bloc. And that, my darlings, ended the agreement between the United States Incorporated and Saudi Arabia. That totally decimated the entire system as it were, or as it was. That is what brought the United States dollar down. The final hurrah, okay? That occurred in 2022, unbeknownst to most people, because this is something that was happening behind the scenes. So the dollar started depreciating in value significantly once our agreement with Saudi Arabia was over. And then 2 years ago, and 2 years later, after Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, the contract or the agreement between Saudi Arabia and the America or the United States of America or the United States Incorporated, it was never renewed. The contract, the agreement just was never renewed. So that is how we knew for sure that it was over for the United States dollar. So again, basic economic principle that as the dollar loses value, gold and silver increases in value. This is important for you all to know, even if you say, I can't afford gold, Kia, quit talking about gold and silver, it's not lawful money or whatever. Please know that gold and silver historically are lawful money. As a matter of fact, according to our Constitution for our republic, the dollar is defined as a fixed weight in silver. And according to Congress's Gold Coinage Act of 1792, which occurred on April the 2nd, keep that date in your mind, the dollar, the real dollar, was linked to not only silver, but to gold as well. This is why, my darlings, President Donald Trump has announced that April the 2nd will be Liberation Day, because we're commemorating, and we talked about this yesterday, how Congress's Gold Coinage Act or Coinage Act of 1792 linked the dollar to silver and gold. So when President Trump is going all over the world saying that the dollar must hold strong, the dollar hasn't lost its value, he's talking about the real dollar. He's talking about real money that's attached to gold and silver. What I'm talking about when I say the dollar has lost its value is the United States dollar, the USD fiat, the one that has all the sigils on it, okay? All the magic on it, pyramids, et cetera, okay? That is what has been decimated and depreciated, thus causing silver and gold to raise in value. The dollar, the USD, loses value over time. It fluctuates based on money printing, based on political circumstances. It fluctuates based on presidential elections and many, many things. But the real dollar is defined as a fixed weight in silver, and it is attached now to silver and gold. And that's why our Constitution in Article 1, Section 10 says the only thing that can be used to pay off debt is silver and gold. So why did I come on today? Because I wanted you to know that gold just reached a new all-time high just today. Now, it doesn't reflect the highest number that I saw because it's going down just a tad bit, maybe by $1. But gold reached a new all-time high, family, of $3,117 per ounce this morning. Right now, it's not quite that high. Right now, let's see what gold is, $3,114 per ounce. But that's not always now, it's 15. And it just said 3,114. See, it's fluctuating. It's $3,115.89. You might as well say $3,116 per ounce. It just went up by $14 as of yesterday. Silver will follow. Silver is now $33.84, but silver is the little sister to gold. Gold emulates masculine energy. Gold reflects the sun energy. Silver emulates feminine energy. Silver reflects feminine energy. Gold, masculine and the sun. Silver, the moon and feminine energy. But we've had a whole lot of masculine energy, so-called masculine energy, over the last few centuries, and that's a good thing. However, what you're about to experience is silver outperforming gold, because we have to have feminine energy to flood the planet in order to bring balance. Okay, so please expect that to happen. Now, speaking of gold and silver, gold historically has been used for jewelry and money, whereas silver has been used for jewelry. It's been used as money. It has a lot of industrial purposes. Silver is in your solar panels. We have silver receptors in the brain. You have doctors and scientists coming up with healing modalities that use silver because we have silver receptors in our brain, and they've come up with different modalities to actually cure brain-eating amoebas in the brain. Then you have silver used in the catalytic converter of your car. Silver is used in other places in a car. It's used in your computer. It's used in your cell phone, as well as cobalt. Silver is in your refrigerator, your stove, your washer and dryer. Silver is in your microwave oven. Silver is in many, many things. And silver is actually a byproduct of gold and other metals. So silver, my darlings, will outperform gold. Silver has so many industrial purposes, yet there's not as much silver on the planet as there is gold, according to many experts. So you should expect to see silver prices explode. And this is such an opportune time, family, to get into the gold and or silver market, because we are returning to the gold standard. I keep saying it. I've been saying it for many years. I knew it in 2014 when I was in Africa. There's a region or a country in West Africa called Ghana that's called the Gold Coast. There, I saw a lot of Chinese, Lebanese, and other European nations mining gold. And I came on my social media platform in 2014 and said, something is happening when you see all of these nations mining gold to the extent that even illegal miners were there. Ghana was trying to shut down a lot of illegal miners from Lebanon and China. Okay, then you had Ashanti gold that was there, like Euro Ashanti gold or something like that. The European, big, large European nation there. I said, something is going on here, okay, with all of this gold mining. And while I was there in 2014, I stumbled upon a book called Africa is China's Newest Continent. And I said, or as the Ghanaians say, China intends to hoard a lot of gold. Then shortly thereafter, we stumbled upon articles that said that there were 13 states in America that had legalized gold and silver to be used as legal tender to buy local goods and services. But people didn't know that. So as long as you don't know it, you won't use it. That's where I come in, because I'm going to tell you, you can use gold and silver to make purchases right now. We're going to get into that in a little bit. So 2014, I noticed that, there was a lot of gold mining occurring. We started talking about it between 2014 and 2020. We then became louder and louder with this rhetoric that something's happening with gold and silver, family. And I said, I can see that we are moving to the gold and silver standard. And since that time, when I started talking about the 13 states, those 13 states that had legalized using silver and gold as money actually started that from 2011 onward. There were only 13 states. And now what we have is 46 states. Some articles say 46 states repeal or remove the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. And then some articles say that 45 states have repealed the state sales tax from the sales of precious metals, thus reclaiming silver and gold as money. When you repeal the state taxes from the sales of precious metals, then you're saying that precious metals can no longer be viewed as a commodity or a collectible. But you're saying precious metals have to be seen and viewed as money. So you see, the central banking system of the Federal Reserve and the United States Incorporated and their Cloonies took us off the gold standard, and one of the presidents. And when they took us off the gold standard, they started telling the American people that gold was just a commodity. It was just a collectible, like a trading card or some piece of art. Okay. And a collectible then can be taxed, and people will start to look at it as something that you just, gather and you just save or hoard just for your own purposes. Well, now you have legislatures or state lawmakers saying we're repealing or removing the sales taxes from precious metals because precious metals are not collectibles. They're not a commodity. They are money. So anytime you see an article that says that states have removed or repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, then you know that they're acknowledging gold and silver as money. There are many articles that you can find on the internet, and we did a deep dive on that yesterday that showed you that there were 45. Some articles again say 45 states using silver and gold as money, and some articles saying 46. Here's one article right here about a Sound Money Defense League that talks about all the states that have removed some or all taxes from the purchase of gold and silver. And then in the article, it tells you what that means. It means now that lawmakers are lining up with the Constitution for our republic that says that the only thing that can be used to pay off debts are silver and gold. There's one article that says Kentucky became the 45th state to remove the state sales taxes. And then if you dig deep enough, you'll find another article that says that New Jersey became the 46th state to repeal or remove the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. Here's the one that says Kentucky, as of today, is the 45th state. Oh, here it is. As of March 31st, 2025, Kentucky is the 45th state to remove sales taxes on gold and silver purchases, with New Jersey aiming to become the 46th. But New Jersey actually did pass some legislation already. So that only leaves 4 more states, family, to align with the Constitution for our republic to reclaim silver and gold as money. Now, lawmakers didn't have to do this because the Constitution already says that gold and silver are money. But it is nice to have lawmakers to use the tools of the deep state and the fake folk government, the tools against them. Okay. The Constitution for a republic already said gold and silver is money. It's all you can use to pay off debt. But notice how lawmakers and Donald Trump are using the deep state's tools, using executive orders, passing laws or legislation to align with our Constitution. It's very, very smart for them not to just kick down the door and say, hey, we're returning to the republic. You guys are all criminals. Let's go ahead and make this work, because some people would not even know how to deal with that. Okay. They would then call Donald Trump a tyrant, which they already do, or they would call the lawmakers a tyrant if they just came and kicked down the doors. Hey, we're turning over everything back to the way it used to be. No, they're using the tools of the deep state, of the Federal Reserve central banking system. They're using the tools of the United States Incorporated to turn everything back over into the hands of the people. Thank you so much, family, for checking in. I see we have 209 people in the chat. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if this is interesting information or it's something that could serve you. Somebody said, rise Africa. Absolutely, because once Vladimir Putin was triggered to stop trading with the dollar, once Biden put sanctions on him for uncovering all the nefarious activities going on in the Ukraine and deep underground military bases, Putin inspired and incited the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa bloc to join him in refusing to trade with the dollar. Then he also inspired Saudi Arabia to do the same. And then during the BRICS conferences, he talked to African nations. Talk about Vladimir Putin of Russia, okay? Very smart man. And he said, African nations, we know that you have been colonized for many years or many centuries and decades, right, by European nations, but we're going to support you. He told the African nations, use your own currencies to trade, and get rid of those European colonizers from your land. And Vladimir Putin went a step further and said, create your own alliance, but I'll back you up militarily as well. Okay, so Putin is a very shrewd man. He inspired the African nations to do that. And immediately, right after that first conference, when he made that announcement, you saw Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Chad, and Niger kick out the French, use their own currency for trade, and establish their own military. That is why the French economy is struggling right now. And that struggling, now that they cannot rely on African nations for their resources, their cobalt, their gold, their silver, their precious metals, they can't rely on the African nations for anything, their rare earth minerals, nothing, their cheap labor. Now France is struggling. And that led to the French Parliament doing a no confidence vote, and they got rid of the entire Parliament and their financial cabinet in France. That led to Macron, the president, saying, hey, hold on. Y'all trying to dismantle France altogether. You done got rid of the Parliament. You said you don't have any confidence in our Treasury Department. But he said, I ain't going nowhere, because my term isn't over to 2027. But the people have spoken, and they told Macron, you've got to go. We were sucking on the breast of Africa, but the African people have awakened with the support of Vladimir Putin and President Donald Trump, who's actually leading the charge. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Xi Jinping of China. Now, these characters may not be the original presidents. They could be, somebody that has stepped in. Okay, it could be a new person. Maybe they were changed out because, many of the leaders that were in control were compromised. So we don't know who's wearing these masks, but we do know that things are working on our behalf now and for our good. So as we said, gold breach. Oh my God. Family, it just keeps climbing. Remember, I said it was $3,117 and $3,118. Look at gold now. I told you it's going to soar. Once it breached 3,000, gold will continue to soar. Look at gold now. And we don't even know what the gold futures are. It just said 3,119. Now it's 3,118.89. Just a minute ago, it said $3,119 per ounce, with silver falling behind just a little bit. Going down a little bit. Silver is $33.92. Keep your eyes on precious metals, because many people are following the suit of these nations. So you have nations that have stopped trading with the dollar, the USD, and have now hoarded gold, silver, precious metals, and they've repatriated their gold back to themselves from the Vatican to support their local currencies as they trade with their local currencies. And you have banks. Now, I've been reporting on this for the last few years. Banks have been accumulating gold at record numbers. As a matter of fact, 2022, you saw lots of central banks hoarding or acquiring gold. You saw lots of countries acquiring gold. China was leading most of those countries in acquiring gold. Why? Because these countries will use gold to back their local currencies, and because the central banks need gold in order to maintain the health of the banks. This is why here in America, banks, through Basel III compliancy, had to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset, meaning that banks had to recognize gold as money and not as a commodity, not as a collectible, not recognize the USD as money, but gold as money. And the second part of Basel III compliancy states that banks had to receive and acquire tier 2 assets, also known as foreign reserves. What are tier 2 assets or foreign reserves? Foreign currencies. You have to look at my video that's called Good News for Currency Holders, because in that video I share, you can find that on YouTube, my YouTube channel, or my Rumble channel, but I share how banks met globally last summer to ensure that they were ready to receive currencies, to receive tier 2 assets. And in that video, excuse me, hold on, family. In that video, I shared that banks had to have tier 2 assets along with gold in order to maintain the health of the banks in the case of economic hardship. And these assets, gold and foreign currencies or tier 2 assets, would maintain the health of the banks and prevent banks from going bankrupt. Okay, so the banks need you. They need your tier 2 assets. Banks met globally to make sure that they were ready for currency exchanges. I'll go ahead and show you that video. We'll go talk about gold in a minute, some more, but keep paying attention to gold because you can see what's going on with the USD and the central banking system when you pay attention to the price of gold. Remember, the Supreme Court of the United States determined last summer that state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system. They can have their own charter, their own rules, their own laws, and state-sponsored banks can now issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So that answers the question for those of you who have been asking me, what about rainbow currencies or the new currencies? The new ones that are coming out that are most likely already in the banks are already backed by precious metals, whether it be gold, silver, rare earth minerals. Remember Wyoming? I believe it was Wyoming discovered 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals last summer. So if you go to my Dr. Kia Pruitt channel, my moniker is at Dr. Kia Pruitt Official. That's Dr. KIA PRUITTOFFICIL. You go here, or you can go to rumble.com at my Rumble channel, Dr. Kia Pruitt. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. Thank you, Cesar Rich, and Sister Deborah Allen. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. I appreciate you. You will be rewarded for just being here and being part of the Soul family and for pouring into the work that is liberating humanity. Thank you so very much. Scroll down, you see great news for currency holders. There's so much that I cover in there talking about how banks met globally to make sure that they're ready for currency exchanges. Also, please look at the video that I did yesterday. That was on the video section, but the live section of the Dr. Kia Pruitt channel, I talked about breaking Iraq and Vietnam news. Okay, that I talked a little bit about gold there too. Okay, let's get back to what's going on right now. Oh my gosh, guys, this gold is doing its thing. You hear me? It's doing its thing today. Look at this. $3,119.73. It's not going backwards. It's going to keep increasing. It might fluctuate a little bit, due to look at that, $3,120. I'm telling you, family, it is a wrap. Can y'all see that? Let me go ahead and make that bigger in case you can't see it. $3,120 per ounce. Silver, $33.95. Why? Because countries have decided to stop trading with the gold, because central banks are now hoarding gold as they prepare for the gold standard. Now they have to have gold in their coffers because we're moving to a gold standard, and to maintain the health of the banks. Countries are now repatriating their gold back to them. They're going to gold. Businesses are now rushing to gold because businesses were concerned about President Trump's tariffs. These businesses were like, oh man, Trump is going to put tariffs on us. He's going to start taxing us. We need to get out of the dollar and start running to real money. So gold and silver, precious metals, are a safe haven for investors. Okay. So you have businesses and investors going back to gold, and you have common everyday people that are awake now saying, I'm going to take my retirement account and my savings or any type of USD that I have that's left over from my bills, and I'm going to roll it over into something that's safe, because gold and silver or precious metals are a safe haven. They're a hedge against inflation. It's a safe way to store your money, because as the dollar decreases in value, it takes more dollars now to buy eggs than it used to be, more dollars to buy bread. Okay, because of inflation, more dollars to buy a lot of things because the value is decreasing of the United States dollar, the USD. But gold and silver or precious metals increase in value. They maintain their value. And that's why a lot of people have decided to put their precious metals in, or their fiat dollars in precious metals. And I talked about this yesterday. I said, I hadn't even been like promoting gold and silver, but if you're interested, I have a relationship with Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. You can give them a call at 952-929-7006 or send an email at info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know you heard about gold and silver from Dr. Kia Pruitt, and you will get the best prices in the industry. But you don't only have to get gold coins or gold bullion. You can get Goldbacks. You can also get silver bullion, silver coins, silver ringgits. You can get silver certificates. You can get lower denominations of silver and gold. You can get constitutional silver, which they erroneously call junk silver, from online dealers like Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. Or you can get junk silver, silver, and gold from local coin dealers. Now, they'll have a higher price at your local company because you have to pay to do business with them. Online dealers have a tendency to have lower prices. But the good thing about going to your local dealer, if they have the gold and silver, okay, they might not have it now because people are waking up. You can take gold and silver into your possession right away. And if not, they'll have to order it. They're going to order it from Miles Franklin and places like that anyway. So you might as well, or you can consider going to an online dealer like Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. But constitutional silver is 90% silver, real silver, 0.999 silver. They call it junk silver, but it's real silver that was minted before 1964. Those coins are worth money, and most merchants recognize constitutional silver or junk silver as money, and they recognize gold as money. Okay, it's just that we didn't know, people, the everyday person did not know that gold and silver is money. And I want to talk to you about how you can get gold inexpensively and what you can do with Goldbacks. But first, let me show you this article here that talks about how gold is increasing in value. So the reason why gold and silver prices had not been as high is because you had people in power that were suppressing the price of silver and gold so that you wouldn't know how valuable gold and silver were. And in the meantime, elites and people in the know were hoarding or buying up gold a lot because they knew that the fiat system was not unsustainable. So they knew we would return to the gold and silver standard. In fact, the Federal Reserve actually wrote a book. You have to follow the Road to Ruta on roadtoruta.com or on YouTube. Or if you can't remember, Road, ROADTOROOTA. It was about a Ruta theory that the Federal Reserve actually came up with. Their books they produced was called Wishes and Rainbow. Bix Weir, BIXBEIR, Bix Weir talks about this on his Road to Ruta channel, how the Federal Reserve actually in their book, Wishes and Rainbow, a coloring book no less, put on the Federal Reserve website that we would return to the gold standard and that the good guys in the Federal Reserve would crash the system and return us to the gold standard. So they knew. Many people in the know and then the elites, they knew this would happen, but they didn't want you to know, so they kept the prices down. So even if you went to goldprice.org or silverprice.org, it will have a low price, making you think it's not worth anything. But as of today, we see a publication that says that gold prices hit fresh highs as retail investors push a demand amid global uncertainties. Anytime people are uncertain about what's happening in the economy, people in the know, they rush to gold, just so you know. During different political elections or debates or discussions about tariffs, people in the know, banks, investors, they will rush to gold because they knew the dollar was going to be, the rate of the dollar would fluctuate. It was going to be affected by anything happening in the geopolitical realm. Mumbai, March 31st. As the U.S. reciprocal tariff deadline looms, Gold prices on Monday today hit a record high of $3,106, according to this article. But we know that gold is actually now $1,120 per ounce. This is for the first time with people rushing towards accumulating the safe haven asset and amid global uncertainties. So this yellow metal gold has gained more than 18% this year as retail investors continue to drive demand. Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, and UBS have raised their price targets for gold this month. And according to reports by the Bank of America Global Research, the bullion gold is likely to reach $3,500 per ounce in the next 18 months if non-commercial purchases increase by 10%. But I can assure you that gold is going to go up beyond $3,500 per ounce before an 18-month cycle, okay? Gold emerged as one of the top performing asset classes in India in 2024 with a remarkable 21% year return. The Indian market, the article suggests, has shown a strong investment interest in gold, driven by record inflows into gold ETFs. India is not the only country. We have reported about Australia getting gold, China leading the way in hoarding or amassing or accumulating gold, as well as other nations. And that leads me to how you, my darlings, can invest in precious metals. Okay, you can either take a retirement account that you might have. Thank you so much, Chief Mack, for the blessing. It's so good to see you in the house. Chief Mack just blessed me with $50. He always takes care of Dr. Kia Pruitt, and I'm so very grateful for that. Thank you so much, Chief and the Soul family, for taking good care of me. So how can you all get into gold and or silver? You can either take your retirement account or savings and you can roll it into a gold IRA, whereby you roll it into a gold IRA, and then you can get some of that gold into your possession as well, or you can just go ahead and put it all into the precious metal, not a gold IRA, but into gold and silver, any savings that you have. So you can get, as we said earlier, bullion, coins. What else? What can you put it in? Coins, and then I forgot what you call the square. Gosh, tell me what else I'm thinking. Gold coins and gold escapes me. Help me out. Help your girl out. But you can put it in gold, regular gold and silver, but make sure you get 0.999 pure gold or 0.999 pure silver. You can get half an ounce, a tenth of an ounce. You can get a quarter of an ounce. You can get an ounce, 5 ounces, 10 ounces. You can get 20 coin ounces in coins. You can get, a kilogram of gold, which is about, or silver, which is about 34 ounces. You can get 100 ounce and even higher than that. Thank you so much, Matt. God bless you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored that you gave us a blessing. God bless you. Having a smile on you. Oh, Chief Matt gave me 2 offerings, $50 here and more. Wow. Thank you. Bullion. Thank you. Rounds. You can get gold rounds or bullion. Oh, Dewan said gold is now 3,143 ounces. Wow. Is that the futures rate right now? 3,143. Wow. That's amazing. Don said, don't forget copper. You will need copper to purify the water in your home. Chief Mack with another. Oh, wow. Chief Mack with $100. Thank you, Chief. I love you so much for taking good care of me. Chief says, what a beautiful day to be alive when you are connected to the right people and to source. The Chiefs on the land are back in control. Cheers, he says, to the soul tribe. We're all back in control as the human family, God's people. Now we're operating in our sovereignty. And Getting silver and gold is one way that you express your sovereignty because you're using real money. So how can you get, oh, that was today's prices? Gosh, $1,340 something dollars. Jiminy crickets. Chief says April is surplus month. Get ready, get ready, get ready. We'll bring Chief on, let him talk about surplus month. Don says March 25th was the last real day for fiat currency. Thank you, Don. Don said he started getting ready 13 years ago. He got into it. Thank you. Renee says you look so beautiful. Thank you so much. Gold is $3,151.90. Y'all see how it just keep going up? Oh my God. Oh my God. So you may not have money for gold bullion, or you may not have it for coins. I don't know. You may. But there's another way you can get into gold. 3,001. You can get what's called Goldbacks. Okay. I want to help you. I always tell the soul family, instead of saying, that sounds like a lot of money, Pruitt, I don't know if I can do that. I can't do that. Ask yourself, how can I? Instead of saying what you can't do, because I can get it. I get it. Money right now is a little, shaky for some people, but always ask, how can I? I want to show you an article that talks about Goldbacks. Let's look at Wikipedia to see what Goldbacks are before I tell you that you can get Goldbacks very inexpensively. And I don't want to say very cheaply, because gold is not cheap. It's real, it's legit. It is a metal that we've been using for eons. The Goldback is a fractional gold commercial product marketed as a local currency. Some articles will say it's not a local currency. You can't use it to buy goods and services because they're going on the old system, and or they don't want you to know, or they're just ignorant. But a Goldback is a fractional commercial product that's marketed as a local currency. And I'll just tell you briefly, without even looking at this article, that a Goldback is 0.999 pure gold pressed onto a note, 14 karat gold or 24 karat gold that you can use to purchase local goods and services. But let's see what Wikipedia says. It's a fractional gold commercial product marketed as local currency, which has seen limited use in some United States, and sold and marketed by Goldback Inc. of Utah. Utah is going to be a very, very important country, yes, because each state is a country under the Republic. Very, very important country. Utah, Wyoming, all those different states in that area. The Goldback contains a thin layer of gold within a polymer coating equivalent to 1/1000th of an ounce. It's real gold. Goldbacks are shaped like banknotes, but contain a small amount of 24 karat gold. The gold is contained between two layers of clear decorated polyester. Goldbacks are sold in increments labeled 1/2, 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, 50, and 100, each containing proportionally larger amounts of gold. Goldbacks is minted by Valorum, a private mint. Valorum uses a vacuum deposition process to fuse gold together into thin sheets encased in a plastic film designed to hold gold. The Utah Goldback was released in 2019 with a series for Nevada, New Hampshire, Wyoming, and South Dakota. They launched in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, respectively. The Florida series was released January 15, 2025. Now, what they aren't telling you is that some of these Goldbacks were released actually as early as 2011, okay, in some states. I don't know why they won't tell us. And it goes on to talk about the design, local legislation as well as other things. It says the Goldback has not been adopted by any state government. It is privately issued and developed to be used at the local state level. Why at the local state level? Because, as I've always said, the local level and the states have more power than the Federal Reserve. That's why it's not backed by any government. It doesn't have to be backed by a government because it's backed by you. You are sovereign. Each state is its own country. And remember, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that each state can operate independently and separately from the Federal Reserve central banking system and issue out their own gold-backed currency. So it doesn't have to be backed by a government. It is real legal tender. It can be used to purchase local goods and services. This is the 10 unit. I purchased this many years ago. That's what it looks like. It has Liberty on the front and back. Very, very beautiful. Real gold, 0.999 pure gold. This one is 1/10 of a gram of gold, aurum. So these are called Goldbacks or gold aurum notes. There are some places where you can buy gold aurum notes very inexpensively. Aurum, A-U-R-U-M. All you have to do is go online, Google gold aurum notes or where to buy gold aurum notes. I showed one price for like $2.99 last night for gold aurum notes. And this is the reason why I do this is because people would tell me, I can't afford gold, Pruitt. You can't eat gold. Why are you keep promoting silver and gold? Who cares that we're moving to the gold standard? If you're hungry, you can't eat gold. No, but you can purchase local goods and services with gold. You can pay off debts with gold. Even with these gold aurum notes, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. An article that tells you what you can do. 5 things you can do with gold aurum notes or Goldbacks. See if I can find the place where you can get gold for $2.99. Yep. jmbullion.com. You can call Miles Franklin and see if they have gold aurum notes if you're interested, or Goldbacks. But I found a 1/2 Florida gold back. Last night it was $3. It was $2.99. Today is $3.01. This is what it looks like, a Florida Goldback or a gold note. They're new. These just came out in January. And I made that announcement before they came out that they're about to come out January the 1st. And here we are. They're here. $3 per note here. And there are more products that are similar. So you can afford gold if you have $3. Get a gold aurum note. Let me go ahead and put this in the chat for you. I think somebody says you can get it from Amex. You see, you can get it from Money Metals. Dejan says, I'm loving the growth of gold. It was $1,200 an ounce under Obama. To see this is phenomenal. Michelle says, are the Trump gold currencies that were given out in 2021, 2023, just a collectible or aurum? It depends if it's it might be gold plated. I don't know if it's fake gold or if it's real gold plated. If it's real gold plated, if it has some gold contained in it, then it can be used as money because it's gold. Greetings to you too, my darling. Valerie says, I've been investing in everything. I had to sacrifice things that I love to do in order to invest, she says. I even had garage sales. I know that's right, because a lot of people do what's important to them. A lot of people can afford what's important to them. Now, we're not trying to negate that people are struggling. A lot of people are, but $3, you might be able to get some gold aurum notes. And if not, don't worry, be encouraged. You'll be able to get gold and silver because we're all going to be using gold and silver as money. And we'll be using the new currencies that are new United States Treasury notes that are backed by gold and silver, or we'll be using digital assets. There'll be 3 different ways that we'll be able to exchange things, use the 3 different modes of currency, as it were: gold and silver, or precious metals, the U.S. Treasury note backed by gold and silver, or digital assets. So another thing about, let's talk about What else is a goldback? We got the Wikipedia article out of the way. Now let me see if this article talks a little bit, just so you can know what goldbacks are. This article was published when the Florida goldback came out. Let's see what this says here. The Florida Goldback series is here. We're proud to announce the official launch of the Sunshine State's local gold currency. Local gold currency, meaning you can buy local goods and services here in the state of Florida with Florida Goldbacks. The series represents a major milestone for Goldback, featuring 3 new denominations, enhanced artwork, and making Florida the 6th and largest state to join our sound money movement. They say it makes Florida the 6th to join the sound money movement, but they're not taking into account the article by the Sound Money Defense League that says 45 states, more than 45 states, have reclaimed silver and gold as money. So these are new denominations. The series includes a 1/2, 2, and 100 goldback denominations, enhanced artwork, upgraded security. Florida goldbacks are available for purchase through our network, this article says, www.goldback.com. And it talks about how this is a new era of gold. The launch of the Florida Goldback series marks a significant step forward for Goldback Incorporated as Florida becomes the largest and most populous state to join the Goldback movement. It's an exchange or an exciting step in the journey towards making gold more accessible, functional, and practical for everyday use. Florida goldbacks are more than just a currency. They're a tool to preserve wealth, support local businesses, and promote the principles of sound money. So some people said you can't use gold, you can't eat gold, you can't do anything with gold. Why do you keep promoting gold? You just saw it says not only is it a tool to preserve wealth, but support local businesses, because you can buy local goods and services with goldbacks now. And if your local merchants don't know that, you need to educate them. And if they still act like they don't understand or understand, go to your lawmakers. It's just the beginning. Stay tuned, the article suggests. Now, let's talk about what you can do. 5 things you can do with a goldback. Time to bring out the champagne, family. Oh, you guys are asking for Chief Mack. I'll send him. Does the goldback only apply for certain states? Great question. I'm not sure, but I do know that many states have actually started issuing out goldbacks. So that's a good question. I'll have to dig into that. I'm not sure. Let me see if this article answers your question. Chief Mack says, hit the like button, family, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. We're going to send an invite to you, Chief Mack. Some of the people are asking for you in the chat. So I'm going to send you a link as soon as they let me. And in the meantime, let's look up what you can do with a goldback, okay? Gold is now $3,120. It had gone down to $3,119. Well, that's not considering the futures, though. You guys said it went up even higher than that. What can you do with the goldback? 5 ways to use goldbacks. We discussed this a little bit yesterday, but in case you missed it, let me talk about it today. Five ways to spend goldbacks. This article was actually published in January 2024, so it might even be more ways. First of all, a goldback is a series of local currencies produced by Goldback Inc. The Utah-based company was founded, according to this article, in 2019. The basic concept behind the goldback is simple. Each goldback, again, contains 1/1000th of an ounce of real gold, 0.999 gold, Larger denominations also contain gold proportional to their value. For example, a 5 Goldback note includes 5 times as much gold as a 1 Goldback note, which would be 1/200th of an ounce. 5 ways to spend Goldbacks. Number 1, gift giving. Goldbacks can make a fantastic gift, the article suggests, is one of the articles or the authors of the article's favorite ways to spend Goldbacks. Because these Goldbacks are remarkably cheap or inexpensive and contains actual gold bullion, they're always a winner at family Christmas parties or gift exchanges. And I started giving out gold Arum notes, I want to say in 2017. What I did was I talked to my cousins, my brother, my uncle, like people, my nephews, people that I knew who could appreciate this information. And I sent them a card or a letter that said, gold is the currency for kings. Silver is the currency for nobles. The dollar, wait a minute. Gold is the currency for kings. Silver is the currency for nobles. I can't remember what the other one. And debt is the currency for slaves. So I say, you're a king or a noble, so here's some gold or silver. Gold is the currency for kings. Silver is the currency for nobles. Debt is the currency for slaves. When they issued out debt-based currencies, USD, they essentially were calling us a slave. The second way you can use Goldbacks or these gold Arum notes that I showed you is online bartering and garage sales. The era of the internet has made it easier, according to article, easier than ever for alternative currencies to flourish. Just look at the success of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Goldbacks can also be used to exchange goods and services online, the article iterates. Remember, Goldbacks, according to them, aren't a legal currency because it's not backed by the government, but it is lawful. The article says not all lenders will accept them as payment, and they're not obligated to do so yet. I'm putting in yet. However, one of our favorite ways to spend Goldbacks is to look for online retailers and garage sale hosts that might accept them. If you're lucky and you know the value of the Goldbacks, you might even be able to save money by paying for things in gold. Number 3, you can use gold for dentists and medical care. If you take a look at the featured businesses on the Goldback website, you'll find that a number of dentists and doctors already accept Goldbacks as payment. In fact, in the state of Florida, you can use real gold to pay your taxes, to pay, your real estate taxes, or what do you call the taxes when you own a home? Property tax. Here already you can use gold. Make sure to verify that your doctor or dentist accepts the Goldbacks before going through a procedure. Like with any other business, no doctor is obligated to accept Goldbacks as payments, but when they do, it's a great opportunity to see the power of your gold investment on full display. Number 4, groceries and food. For all the people say you can't eat gold, some people just like to just run out their mouth. You can't eat gold. Why you always talking about gold? Why you always talking about silver? You're just trying to make money. I'm trying to help you, okay? I'm not trying, I am assisting the Soul family with this information, because for years I was promoting gold and silver. I wasn't even an affiliate, okay? And you make a small percentage on a sale, like maybe 1% or less than 1%. It's not like I'm getting rich, okay? And I've even stopped promoting gold because my channels, unfortunately, were compromised or YouTube just took them away. But family, yes, indeed, you can buy groceries and food with Goldbacks. The article says another of the most popular ways to spend Goldback is on groceries and food. Grocers and restaurants all over the Western United States accept Goldbacks as payment. Isn't that exciting? You want to check to see if your favorite restaurant accepts Goldbacks before trying to pay using this unique alternative gold currency. I say, even if they don't, negotiate. I pay for many things using like silver coins, and I use it as an opportunity to educate. But people I know, or people I trust, or people I know I can persuade to accept silver and or Goldback. And if they're not sure, then I'll pay them a tip using a Goldback or silver. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And usually whoever the creator or the universe leads you to educate in gold or silver, most often they have some knowledge or they're open to it, because silver and gold finds its way to its proper owner. They say that, investors say that, like, if you lose silver or gold, there is a commonly known or believed thing that silver and gold finds its way to an owner that to whom it's supposed to go. And fifth, legal services. Did you know that some lawyers in Utah accept Goldbacks, for example? Yep, that's right. One of the coolest ways to spend Goldbacks is on legal services, DUIs, family, and all kinds of different lawyers in Utah, Wyoming, and Nevada. They all accept Goldbacks as payment. In fact, when I first started talking about gold in 2014, they had already had Goldbacks, and they were one of the 13 or 3 of the 13 states that had made gold and silver legal tender. Way back when we started talking about it in 2014. Legal experts know all too well that Goldbacks, according to legal rules, that they aren't a legal government-backed currency. But I told you they don't have to be backed by the government, because the Constitution for our republic said that gold is money. So we don't care what the federal government says. They're defunct anyway and bankrupt. They aren't under any obligation to accept your Goldbacks as payment, the article supports or suggests. However, we were able to find several popular lawyers in Utah that are willing to accept Goldbacks. And it talks about how to spend your Goldbacks. Even if a company isn't on the list on the Goldback website, you might be able to use a Goldback to pay for goods and services. Okay. They said you can offer them to trade online, because some vendors in online markets might not know about the Goldbacks, but you can educate them. And offering them as a trade is a great choice. You can get quality items while introducing someone to an entirely new form of currency. I see what they're doing. They're educating you on how to educate others in accepting Goldbacks. And then it talks about the final thoughts. 5 reasons to own Goldbacks. Are they worth it? I say yes. And what are they? However you spend your Goldbacks, you're investing in a new way to pay and an entirely new type of currency. Family, please, consider getting Goldbacks, silver and gold. Teresa says, thanks for the tip a while back ago. Oh, Zim Agro farm checks. Yes, Zim Agro farm checks. That's a good investment. Zim notes, Zim bonds, the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, the Afghan currency called the Afghani, the Indonesian rupiah, the Indian rupee. Hit the like button, family. Chief, I did send you a link in case you wanted to come on. There are many assets that you all could consider to get into, because we are about to experience the greatest wealth transference in history, whereby prelates, rich people, who else? All type of people in the know had made a killing and, doing currency revaluations and buying depreciated assets. Now you can get in on the greatest wealth transference by buying depreciated assets. Because remember, in 1929 and during the Great Depression, a lot of people that knew how to become wealthy did so by investing in depreciating assets. So look around you. What are some of the assets that have depreciated or lost value? Silver and gold were low in value. Digital assets, XLM, XRP, they're inexpensive. Goldbacks, foreign currencies, all that. And speaking of foreign currencies, I told you all yesterday, so I want you to go to my video from yesterday. Here's that video right here. It is called, it's called Breaking News, Iraq and Vietnam, Breaking Iraq and Vietnam News, Freedom Day, plus Freedom Day is April 2nd, and it will usher in prosperity. And we also talk about how Mississippi ended state taxes. I'm telling you, the states are regaining their power. So let me show you, this is the video. It is on YouTube, and Rumble. Breaking Iraq and Vietnamese news right here. Look at that article, because in that article, speaking of currencies, I shared how Iraq is becoming the new transportation hub of the world, not just of the Middle East, but of the world, because they have a new system that connects Iraq to over 66 countries worldwide. So you got to see this, because I talk about how now that Iraq is becoming the new transportation hub, it will cut down transportation of goods and services between different nations, and it will increase the demand for the Iraqi dinar. If you guys know the law of supply and demand, you know that as the demand for the Iraqi dinar increases, the supply will decrease. Therefore, that will affect the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar. So now again, that Iraq will become the transportation hub of the world, the Iraqi dinar will become in high demand. So you want to look at that video. I see Chief Mack in the back. We're going to bring him on in a few minutes. Let me show you that article very quickly. Please look at that video, read the article. TIR goes live on April the 1st, tomorrow, so-called April Fool's Day. Benefits, these are, Iraq will benefit. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. What is going on? Oh gosh. Drama. So I'll leave that in the description section for you guys to see how Iraq has become the transportation hub. And another thing we talked about was Vietnam. Vietnam are cutting the tariffs or taxes on imported goods from Vietnam into America, which then will lead to the Vietnamese dong being in high demand. Again, apply the law of supply and demand. With the Vietnamese, dong becomes in high demand. That means the supply will decrease, right? Which means that the rate of the Vietnamese dong will increase. So we have those two things. Iraq is now the transportation hub of the world. Vietnam is cutting their taxes or tariffs on imported goods from Vietnam, including food, into America. That will lead to an increase in on the demand for the Vietnamese dong. So all that's happening, as well as Iraq and other nations mentioning and announcing that their currency is going to go digital. And when their currencies go digital, that means they're going to get rid of all paper currencies off the streets, which then will catapult them into raising the rate of these currencies. And having said that, welcome to Chief Mack. It's good to see you. What say you, Chief? So much news. Whew. Had to get it all out.
What a beautiful time it is to be alive, guys.
Absolutely.
Don't let anybody try to deter you from being happy, being excited. I'm seeing people saying that you can't eat gold. Those are to me. And if you really know you can eat gold, monatomic gold is good for the body, because we have gold, silver, and all the other precious metals are in our body. So you're wrong. You can't eat gold.
Can't eat gold. That's right.
And to be corrected, whoever said that, but I'm just want to encourage the soul family. Keep on. That's why I support you, sister, the way I do, because there's not a lot of people doing what you're doing, and a lot of people have been quickened and awakened to make investments, whether it's in gold, silver, foreign currencies, or anything like that. People have made these last minute adjustments to get some type of tangible answer, because the powers that be don't want the people to have that kind of power. Gold is truly how you have power. And gold is what's backing the foreign currencies.
Yes, sir.
It's going back to that time where we're gonna have heaven on earth. What's going to make the heaven on earth is when the people have the power to resurrect the people who are in darkness. We are the Christ conscious. We are those ones that sit down, and I'm just excited about it. That's why I'm going to operate in a high vibration honor, and I'm just here to help the soul family, just quicken us into righteousness, man. Because that's why it don't matter what people say about you. People don't have a heaven or hell to put you in, but you put yourself in that mental heaven and hell by giving any type of belief or
Yes,
power
sir.
to what people are saying about you. You know who you are. You know what the Creator have sent you to be, and we want to be a righteous people. A
Yes,
righteous
sir.
people, not just one color. So, Chief got a treat for you guys.
All right.
I want to play the piano for you guys. It's called Peace.
Oh, yes.
I want to and just put your word. I want to send some high vibrations and notes to you guys. And the name of this song called Peace on Earth that I wrote. This is a song, so it's called Peace. Peace on earth. Give thanks for our welfare. So thank you guys. That's called Peace. I want y'all to be encouraged. I want to play. And this is what I do to, to ease my heart, to sing praises to the Great Spirit and our celestial family. It's my gift. They said the name of that song is just, I'm a musician. I'm self-taught. It's called Peace on Earth because that's what's coming. Just give you guys a treat. Be happy. Be joyful. Let go of all the hurt, the pain, and become the victor over being the victim. It's that time. We're gonna have
Yes,
to learn how to be new wealthy people because to pull away from low vibrational, unalive ways of thinking. Because I was talking to a client of mine, and they were saying, "Well, Chief, I want to know how we're gonna be able to take care of taxes." I said, "That's an unalive way of thinking. We're not gonna be paying taxes, man."
that's right.
So you got to pull away from that. Stop worrying about working a job, taxes, or robbing people to pay Paul. We're gonna move over to overflow. So we got to take our mindsets. Stuff's gonna happen so fast, guys. We got to be prepared. Start living as if you're wealthy and rich already.
That's
Stop
right.
allowing folks to treat you like they treated you last week, last year, yesterday, because you're not that same person.
Mm.
Live as though you have the wealth already and don't let anybody treat you as such or less than what you know you are to be tomorrow. Because April is the month. Mark my words. April
Yeah.
is new beginnings. April is resurrection. April is when you shake off the old and come in with the new. April is that
Yes,
month.
Chief.
Flowers blooming, bears coming out of hibernations, animals
Mm.
earth because they know that April's and it's resurrection means overflow. And the animals and the plants know that because they know the sun is getting closer to the earth. So they come out of that sleep, that slumber. So the sleeping giants come out of that slumber, come together under one authority. And that's what I have always been preaching since I had a voice on my platform is to be that voice, be that trumpet, and sound my voice of righteousness. And when you sound your voice like that, expect to be attacked and talked about, ridiculed and persecuted. But stand firm. Stand firm, guys.
Yes,
I stood firm. I've been tested. I've been talked about. I've been persecuted. I've been lied on. I'm called everything that I'm not. But I stood on faith. I stood on righteousness. I stood on my ancestors in the great spirit saying, touch not my anointing and do my prophets no harm, and watch what I do. And those very low down individuals are watching this post right here. And the best way that the ancestors and Chief Mack and the great spirit put our shoelaces, these sad 12s up your rectum, is through our success. So be firm, guys. Stand on right. And we're going to do some kingdom things. And I'm so happy for you.
Congratulations, we made it. Chief, you talked about April being spring, resurrection time, a time of a new season. I thought this was interesting that President Donald Trump said that April 2nd will actually be Liberation Day. Now, we should anticipate something huge to happen, but all this news about Iraq, Vietnam cutting the tariffs, that will go in effect April the 1st, Iraq becoming a transportation hub of the whole world and the Middle East, that occur on April the 1st, and that will lead us right into April the 2nd. That weaves together two remarkable threads of American history that unites the past innovation with modern commemorations. On April the 2nd, 1792, the United States Congress enacted what's called the Coinage Act. That was a pivotal law that solidified the nation's early monetary system. It was signed under President George Washington, and this Coinage Act established the dollar as the official currency that was launched and connected to a bimetallic system, meaning that because of the Coinage Act, Congress Coinage Act of 1792, the dollar was attached to silver and gold. On April 2nd, 1792, and it just so happens that President Trump, fast forward to 2025, declared April the 2nd as Liberation Day, a bold celebration of economic renewal through aggressive trade, tariffs, and policies, and apt, if coincidental, is a nod to the day's historic financial roots. So April the 2nd, April the 1st, the Iraq becoming the trade hub or transportation hub of the world. Then April the 2nd, we commemorate as Liberation Day, according to Donald Trump. And we commemorate the Coinage Act that attached the dollar to silver and gold as money. Great things happening in April, Chief.
Awesome things are happening. Awesome things are happening. The stages have been set like never before in the history of this country, like never before, man. Let me tell you something. I'm so fortunate that I have family members who started to take heed.
Yes.
I don't want to be the only one. I have brothers and nephews and brothers of mine. We've been sitting down, we've been talking, and we've been talking about wealth management. And I've just been quicker than my brothers. And I said, I don't want to have your own. And I was spending time with a brother of mine yesterday at his house, and just really having a soul. It's healing is taking place right now.
Yes,
healing is right now from these generational curses amongst family. It's going to start at home. There's a relationship that's getting ready to be rekindled right now. That family must start at home. Relationship. And that's the reason why we are in the situation we're in, because family has been torn apart.
Yes, families have been. I agree. And still, some families are being attacked. And I would encourage our soul family to stay strong, because a lot of people don't know that they're being attacked by nefarious energies. They don't know they're under the influence of negative energy. So those negative energies might try to attack you. But just know that they're unaware. The flesh is unaware that they're being used by or attacked by these negative energies that are trying to get at you to stop you from blessing your family. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So much will try to come against you to prevent you from operating in your purpose, but you have to keep your mind straight, keep your emotions in check, and maintain tunnel vision. You were sent here. Chief always says, I wasn't born, I was sent. You, soul tribe, soul family members, you were sent. You chose to come here to help liberate your family, your community, and humanity. You didn't come here at this time by circumstance. You wanted to be here. You desired to be here. It was in your card, so to say. It's your purpose to be here, to experience the destruction of the old system and the old guard, and to usher in the new golden era. As such, since you were chosen, you decide to come here, you might be, as Chief often says, under attack. But the people that are being used, some of them are just under the influence and don't even know it. Please stay 10 toes down.
Yes, sir.
Add
this too, Doc. There are people being pushed into fear based on religion.
Oh.
And people are saying that there's the world that's coming to an end. There's a rapture coming, and we're gonna be all whisked away. And then this so-called earthquake that happened. I want to tell you guys about the technology. Just like the technology is coming out about these mad bands. As of recently in the past, less than a month ago, we found out about the EE system, which I never knew anything about. But because of the Dr. Pruitt show, one of her clients here in Chicago reached out to me and told us EE system to heal the body. We talk about the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, the stem cell patches that many of you have reached out to me about, and I will get in contact with you to cause your body to create naturally more stem cells to go in there and keep the body young and healthy, because the stem cells recreate the body all over again. So we found out these things. So this stuff is not new. It's just been hidden from the general masses, the public. Now, at the same time, because they've been keeping certain technology, because we're actually behind in technology. There have been resets, guys, over and over again. There have been many resets, and that means that there's a technology called fracking. Fracking. What is fracking? Fracking can make it feel like it's an earthquake happening. When they frack it is when they can release a strong bomb to go off at the floor of the oceans. Flow coals and the water generates all this power, and the bottom of the floor ocean starts shaking, and that's what gives you your earthquakes.
Wow.
So happens. Yes, in Thailand, they felt that route and that shaking. But what the news media does, they sensationalize it because they create the chaos, guys. Work with me. They create the chaos because they have an order already in place. So they showed you a building falling, but don't no building fall like that fast unless it's controlled demolition. Let's not talk about the green screen that they can create and make it seem that. So they want to push all this fear out to the people, and fear stop you from coming to fruition that there's a wealth transfer. They're trying to do what they can do to divert the people's attention from the Dr. Pruitt show, this wealth transfer, and push you over into fear. And fear stops you. I'm here to tell you guys, TV, live vision creates an illusion that's not true, that the people give energy and power to this false reality that they're putting on TV. Don't watch it. The Dr. Pruitt show is one of the most powerful shows right now on social media and
Thank
YouTube.
you, Chief. Thank you, Chief.
Because it's pushing type of the frequencies and frequencies and vibrations that's needed. Because a lot of people wouldn't know what to do. A lot of people come here for love, for healing.
Yes.
And that's what we push. So there's anybody on these social media platforms pushing any other than healing, redemption, resurrection, forgiveness, and you give these kind of people any type of momentum, shame on you. We don't have time for that right now. If anybody is pushing division, hate, confusion, chaos on that platform, and you giving that any type of energy, and this time when there's manifestation time, you're gonna create your own manifestation and get rid of your own self. So time for it. So send people here. And if anybody's listening to you, if you got any hell in you, you need to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it because we're moving forward. We're progressing over here. So this show is that's why people come here, because people come here for healing. People will know what. I have plenty of people that I talk to, and people just want to have a voice that somebody righteous can hear and say, brother and sister, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. Hold on. That's a lot of people call me just to hear that. So if that's who, and you're going through it, you're not alone. Come on to the soul family. Be resurrected. Become that new man and that little woman. And that's what we look to bring to you on the Soul Tribe with Dr. Kia and bringing on Chief Mack. We have just hold on, guys. Our redemption is at hand. It's really near and closer than you expect.
Yes,
and when
sir.
that, we're gonna come back on here. We're gonna all have some wine, because for the past month I just started to treat myself to a nice wine. She don't drink, but I said, you know what? Celebrate life. A nice wine is good for you. The bloodstream is good for you. So I had me a wine by myself, and with a salad, and I drank, and I said, I'm gonna celebrate life, man.
Yes.
Purpose. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to speak high vibrations and success and wealth and health. I'm going to start touching my body. You are healed. Oh, you are healed. I speak life, longevity, inheritance. I speak. I said, start touching your body. Heal, because He is within. He's not in those by hands. He is within you for you to touch yourself and be that savior and salvation, guys. He is within you. Touch yourself. Say, I'm healed. I am wealthy. I am somebody. I will be the protection of my family. I will break these generational curses. And thank you. Speak that over yourself and manifest that and watch it come to fruition. Touch your body. If you have any type of health problem, and start making those changes within yourself, guys. Start eating different, doing things different. Because I'm telling you what I did. I stopped looking at everybody else, and I had tunnel vision. I started focusing on the man in the mirror. Like Michael Jackson, I'm talking to the man in the mirror to change his ways. And when you focus on everybody else, you can't change your ways, because everybody else is the problem and not you. And you don't win like this. That's the true example of what a narcissist is. They can't see no fault within themselves. I said, I got some stuff that I need to change, that I want to change, and that I am going to change. Because what I've been doing right now has got me where I am, but I don't like to be. So I got to do something different so I can get something different. I want something different. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to affect people in the righteous way and see them smile, because that's how you truly build kingdom points. Everything that you do is being seen. So we have an opportunity to build as many kingdom points as possible right now. Let's go, soul family. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Chief. For anybody that wants to contact Chief for a consultation, whether it be about, you might need a word of encouragement. You might want to ask him questions about how to operate outside the jurisdiction of the United States Incorporated, or how to create a private trust. You can reach out to him and do it now while you have time, because he might be busy once the RV happens and we exchange those currencies.
And I'm going to say this right here. Once the RV happens, I am just going to finish up the people that I have, shut it down for a while, because I'm doing some really powerful things behind the scenes.
Yes, sir.
I have brokers that I'm talking to. I'm making some strong connections with bankers, brokers, and all that right now. So that when it happens, then we're looking to have the soul family. We're looking to come together and find out which banks that we're going to, which redemption centers we're going to. We're looking at how to come together as certain people. I know when I talk to you over the phone and I sense who you are and what you are about, then certain people I will be getting in contact with you for us to come together and doing some wealth management and get some things together.
I love it.
Yep.
So you can contact Chief Mack at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. Now, for a consultation, he does charge a small consultation fee, but nobody that I know of has ever complained about it because the information that he gives you is well worth it. So that's unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. Thank you, family, for being here. Here is his contact information. Send him an email, unityinmotion45@yahoo.com, and he'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Additionally, I want to thank Ascension Seeker. Ascension Seeker says, Dr. Kia, I hope you received $25. I just sent you a minute ago from Teresa I. Seems something wasn't right. So let me see. I went over to, I'm assuming you sent it to my Cash App, and I see Teresa I. Yes, Teresa, thank you so much for the blessing. I see it here. I also see an offering by J. Cole. Thank you so much. Who else? Sees Rich sent an offering, and Deborah Allen says, sending you love. And of course, Chief Mack sent a blessing. Shani Bolware sent something. She says, thank you for your love. Tayanda says, thank you so much for everything. Arnold Allen and Joyce Duckett, as well as Neil Embry, sent a Cash App blessing. So that's it for me, family. I'll see if Chief Mack has any final words. Chief?
Hey, just go out with a song. Be grateful, guys.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Chief. We're always so grateful for you taking your time out of your busy schedule. And I know that you're out of town right now, spending time with family. So I appreciate you so much, Chief. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. Thank you for overseeing the Soul Tribe, encouraging, counseling, and consulting us. Thank you for taking care of me financially and spiritually, being my spiritual covering, Chief. I love you so much. And you're welcome. And having said that, family, I'm very grateful to all of you. Sister Valerie says, thank you, Chief. And a lot of people are saying that was beautiful. Thank you, Chief. They appreciate you. Somebody wants to know what's a good red wine to drink, Chief, if you know.
Yeah, you're talking to a rookie, man. I might say, just if it tastes good and it's bubbly and it's hit the back of your throat a certain way, hey, let's drink it. I'm a rookie at it.
All right, Chief. Thank you all, family, for joining us here. We love you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for all the Cash App donations at $ Mama Kia 13. Also, thank you for the super stickers and super chat, for your time, your energy, your presence. We appreciate you, because without you, I'm not relevant. So I appreciate you, and I love you so much. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt, and you've spoken with Chief Mack. We trust that we've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. All right. Peace, family. We love you so much.
Peace.
Go and make this a great day. Bye-bye.